You want to make as much money as possible. Everybody does. But let me ask you something you've probably never thought about. What's the absolute most you could ever earn by trading your time for money? Not what you're making now. The ceiling. The number where the laws of physics say, that's it. No more. You're done. Most people have never done this math. And on it. This isn't your fault. Nobody teaches this in school. But when you actually sit down and run the numbers, it's kind of terrifying. Because the ceiling is way lower than you think, even for doctors, lawyers, and top-tier consultants. Today, I'm going to show you the exact math and then show you why the richest people in the world figured out how to break through it. Let's start with the basics. There are 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year. That gives you 8,760 hours. That's every single hour you got. No sleeping, no eating, no bathroom breaks, nothing. Obviously, nobody works all of them, but let's pretend you could, just to see where the ceiling actually is. Now, let's say you're really good at something, like top of your field. You charge $500 an hour. You know what that means? You're an elite trial lawyer walking into court, or a brain surgeon holding a scalpel. That's the kind of person we're talking about. $500 times 8,760 hours equals $4.38 million. That sounds like a lot, right? But remember, this is the fantasy scenario where you literally never sleep, never eat, never take a break. Every single hour of your existence is billed to a client. In reality, most high-paid professionals work maybe 2,000 billable hours a year. So $500 times 2,000, $1 million, before taxes, before expenses, before burnout destroys your body at 45. And here's the thing. You want to know how rare $500 an hour actually is? That puts you in roughly the top 0.1% of hourly earners on the planet. Most people are nowhere near that. Most people will never be near that, no matter how many degrees they collect or how many promotions they grind for. The median hourly wage in the US is about $30. At 2,000 hours a year, that is $60,000. That's what most people are actually working with. So the ceiling for time-based income isn't millions. For the vast majority of humans, it's somewhere between $40,000 and $150,000. And once you hit your ceiling, you want to earn more, but the only option is to work more hours. And you eventually can't because you're a human being who needs to sleep. This is the time trap, and almost everyone is in it. Now let's talk about the people you think have it figured out. Doctors, lawyers, investment bankers, the ones you grew up being told they've made it. A surgeon in the US makes about $400,000 to $600,000 a year. Sounds incredible, right? But let me walk you through what it actually costs to get there. 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 3 to 7 years of residency, that's 11 to 15 years of training before you earn real money. And during that time, you're racking up debt. You know how much the average medical school graduate owes? About $200,000. So you start earning big money at 30 to 35. But you spent your entire 20s being poor and studying. And once you're making that $500,000 a year, you're pulling 60 to 80-hour weeks. Your effective hourly rate, when you count all those training years, is way lower than it looks on paper. And here's the real kicker. This is the part that matters. A surgeon can only operate on one patient at a time. A lawyer can only bill one client at a time. Their income is still 1-to-1. 1 hour of their time equals 1 unit of output. That's it. They pushed the hourly rate high, but they haven't escaped the model. They're still trading time for money, just more expensive time. And you know what's cruel about this? The higher your hourly rate gets, the more trapped you feel. Think about it. A surgeon making $500 an hour can just take 6 months off to build a business. You want to, but the opportunity cost is too painful. You are leaving $500 on the table every single hour. The golden handcuffs are real. The ceiling is higher, but it's still a ceiling. So how do people actually break through the ceiling? There are only 3 ways. 3 levers that disconnect your income from your time, and every wealthy person in history has pulled at least one of them. Lever 1. Capital. This is just a fancy word for your money works while you sleep. You invest $100,000 and it earns 8% a year. That's $8,000 you didn't trade a single hour for. You didn't sit at a desk. You didn't send an email. Your money just grew. Scale that to $10 million and it's $800,000 a year without working. This is why rich people stay rich. Their money generates money. And this isn't about being smarter or working harder. It's about having a pile of capital big enough that the returns actually matter. But here's the catch. You need capital to use capital. If you're starting from zero, this lever doesn't help you yet. Lever 2. People. You hire others to do the work. A law firm partner doesn't bill 2,000 hours personally. You know what they do? They hire 50 associates who each build 2,000 hours, and the partner takes a cut of all of it. A restaurant owner doesn't cook every meal. They hire cooks. The owner's income isn't limited by their own time. It's limited by how many people they can manage. This is what every business is, by the way. You stop selling your time and start buying other people's time at a lower rate than you sell it. That's the whole game. Lever 3. Code, or, more broadly, products that replicate without you. When a software developer builds an app, they write the code once. Then it runs 1,000,000 times. The developer didn't work 1,000,000 hours. They worked once, and the product multiplied. Same with a book, a psalm, a YouTube video, a course. You create it once, and it earns while you're not there. And you want to know why this is the most powerful lever? Because it has almost zero marginal cost. What does that mean in plain English? Serving one more customer costs basically nothing. That's why software companies are the most valuable companies in the world. Microsoft doesn't work twice as hard to serve twice as many users. The code just runs. And here's the shift that matters. In all 3 levers, your income is no longer proportional to your hours. It's proportional to the size of the system. How much capital, how many people, or how much reach your product has. If these 3 levers are so obvious, why doesn't everyone use them? And this isn't your fault. The system is literally designed to keep you in the time trap. Think about it. School trains you to trade time for grades. Then you get a job where you trade time for money. Your boss doesn't want you building your own thing. They want your hours. The whole structure is built to keep you selling time, and the financial system. It's built around the assumption that you'll earn a steady paycheck for 40 years and then retire. Mortgages, car loans, credit cards. You know what all of these have in common? They're all designed around predictable hourly income. The bank doesn't care about your side project. They care about your pay stub. The moment you try to switch to lever-based income, everything fights you. There's no steady paycheck while you're building. No guarantee it'll work, and everyone around you, your parents, your friends, your partner, they all think you're crazy because they're still in the time model. Here's the other thing nobody talks about. Pulling levers requires risk. Capital can lose money. Employees can quit. Products can fail. The time model is safe. You show up. You get paid. It's predictable. But predictable has a ceiling. And the ceiling doesn't go up just because you work harder. You want to know the cruelest part. Working harder inside the time model actually makes you less likely to escape it. Think about that. If you are working 60 hours a week for someone else, when exactly are you supposed to build your own lever? So here's the real math of income. If your income equals your hourly rate times your hours worked, you have a linear equation. It can only grow as fast as you can raise your rate or add hours. Both have hard limits. But what if your income equals the output of a system? Capital compounding, people multiplying, or code replicating? Then it's exponential. There's no theoretical ceiling. Let me make this concrete. Person earning $50 an hour for 20 years makes about $2 million total. That's the whole career, 2 decades of showing up every day. Now, take a person who builds a system that compounds at 20% a year starting from $50,000. After 20 years, they end up with over $1.9 million in capital alone, and it keeps growing while they sleep. Same starting effort, wildly different outcomes. And after 30 years, the gap isn't just wide, it's unbridgeable. The system builder is generating wealth in their sleep, while the hourly worker is still trading every morning for every dollar. And you know what? The difference isn't talent or luck. It's which equation you're in. That's the income truth. Most people never hear. The ceiling isn't about how hard you work. It's about which model you're in. That was income truth number 1. Next time, I'll show you why passive income is mostly a lie and what actually works instead. It's not what the gurus are selling you. If this is the kind of math you want to understand, subscribe. This is Income Truths.